Good afternoon and welcome to the first ever live stream event from a kink event. You know what? Talk about groundbreaking, but that's what LAM is all about. At the end of the day, we're not going to rest on our laurels. There may have been a pandemic. We may have had to learn how to live stream, but the answer to that is integrate the live stream to the real community. And that's kind of where we're at, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone else on the binary spectrum. We're here for you. We're here for LAMchester. The doors are open, and damn, there are people coming through already. Well, what's today all about? Let me try and get to the right window. Here we go. Here is our mission statement. He says, waiting for the screen to catch up with us. LAM Live is a series of live streaming events during UK lockdown as a place for consenting, kink-positive adults to meet, chat, exchange ideas, and get through this difficult time together. We try and stream as much content as we can, but unfortunately, you know what? The world is a crazy place. We're subject to the occasional bit of cockwomble takedown. There's nothing we can do about it apart from lean in and get on with it. So, talking about getting on with it, what's coming up on the schedule for today? So, 1 o'clock, we've got a new edition of Newbie Orientation. At 2 o'clock, we're going to try and link in via Zoom and have healthy mental practices with a kink shrink. At 3 o'clock, hopefully all going according to plan, we'll have a book reading with Zach of Dirty 60 Words. 3:30, some comedy with John, the kinky life coach. And then at 4 o'clock, if I've still got a voice left, there'll be more updates on what's going on in the LAM universe from me. But crazy as it may seem, I've already been out this morning. I've got on the camera. And if you weren't aware of what's going on, this is what you're missing out on. So here we are. It's the 23rd. It's almost time for the doors to open. That means it can only be one thing. LAMchester all over again. So here we are. We're at the Theatre Impossible today, just off St. Peter's Square. If you want to get an idea where we are, there's Albert Schloss is just behind us, and we're opposite the Peaky Blinders. So what we're going to do is head in and see what's going on. So you're going to come in. It's obligatory, but I can't talk to you while I'm doing that at the same time. You're then going to check in with the check-in desk behind me. There we go. Oh. There we go. With the check-in desk behind me, and then downstairs. And here we go. It's all a little bit crazy down here. And then the first room, if you want something to eat and drink while you're here, can we say anything than this space? You know what? What more could you want? And then as we come down here, we have stalls. We're down here. And then across the other side and behind me, we have ironic crafts. There we go. And then up here, we have the delights of seafood crafts. We have one of our large traders down here. Trust the UK. Where my bondage are a little bit slow on setting up, but we can forgive them. They come a long way. And then down here, we have 7 Sins Latex. Every works. And then Carbon Fibre Loveliness. Kitty's Customs here. And up through the back area. You know what's always one of my favourite stalls to come in, this one? The smell of leather. What more could you want? I know some of you are rubberists, but I do like a bit of leather myself. And then across this side, we have kinky bits with kinky bric-a-brac. There we go. That's previously loved items. We have down here Club Lash. No, if you are fans of Manchester scene, you'll know Lash. It's as simple as that. And we have a new stall over here, Rubber Idols. We just started to
I like this menu better.
And a big oop. He says, because of trains, we know Zach in Dirty Sexy Words is running a little bit late today, but she will be with us shortly. So, come down if you've got a ticket. If you haven't, get online, get a ticket. There aren't many left. If you want a ticket, you're going to have to be in the 6 to 8 slot. It's as simple as that. So, I hope you've had a fantastic tour through, and I'm going to try and get this in. And I know now.
Now I noticed that went a little bit wobbly there, so let me just quickly replay that video and hopefully you'll get all of the stalls in this time. Let me just skip the boring bit at the beginning.
Anyone see? LAMchester all over again, so here we are. We're at the Theatre Impossible today, just off St Peter's Square. If you want to get an idea where we are, there's Albert Schloss is just behind us, and we're opposite the Peaky Blinders. So what we're going to do is head in and see what's going on. So you're going to come in, ask us obligatory, but I can't talk to you while I'm doing that at the same time. You're then going to check in with the check-in desk behind me. There we go. With the check-in desk behind me, and then downstairs. And here we go. It's all a little bit crazy down here. And then the first room, if you want something to eat and drink while you're here, than this space. You know what could you want? And then as we come down here, we have stalls, and then across the other side and behind me, we have ironic crafts. There we go. And one of our large traders down here. My markets are a little bit slow on setting up what we can forgive them and walk away. And then down here, we have 7 6 latex. Everything works. And they're carbon lovers. These customers here. And the back area. You know what's always one of my favourite stalls to come in, this one? The smell of leather. What more could you want? I know some of you are rubberists, but I do like a bit of leather myself. And then across this side, we have kinky bits with kinky ribbon. Items. We have down here Manchester scene. You'll know that. It's as simple as that. And we have a new stall over here, Rubber Idols. Only just started trading. There we go. And big boom. He says, because of trains, we know Zach in Dirty Sexy Words is running a little bit late today, but she will be with us shortly. So, come down if you've got a ticket. If you haven't, get online, get a ticket. There aren't many left. If you want a ticket, you're going to have to be in the 6 to 8 slot. It's as simple as that. So, I hope you've had a fantastic tour through, and I'm going to try and get this in the video now.
And because we're a crazy bunch of fetish noughts and we like to do crazy things, we're going to show you the video of what's been happening down in Bedfordshire when we've got our outdoor kinky markets. The next to these, you know what, it's next Sunday, the bank holiday weekend. And you know what, I've had a word with the weather gods. We really do have a priority booking on the weather. What? We've lost it. Well, there's not a lot we can do about that. And that's what's going on down in LAM for next Sunday, which is the 30th, which is down at the Vanilla Alternative in Bedfordshire. So if my laptop starts working again, I'll be able to get to the next slide. And that's just really a reminder that the next event, well, that's today. Simple as that. The next event after that is going to be next Sunday, the 30th. This is where I just realised I've started the broadcast about half an hour too early, so there may be some filling in going on here. But you know what? I'm sure we'll find some content to keep you entertained and busy. Speaking of which, throughout the broadcast, you are going to get the occasional advert and content that pops up. But hey, you know what? It's from the quality traders and the stallholders. So check out their content, check out who they are. They are some awesome people. One of those awesome people, multi-talented Daisy's vloggers. And in recognition of the fact that LAM, particularly with the pandemic and the lockdown and coming online and going live, has now become very much a global entity. Despite the fact that when we started in 2006, we only ever intended being in-person events, that seems to have changed and reflected. So one of the things that we noticed is how many of our customers are joining us from around the world. And what we started to do was basically put a competition in place to celebrate that. I've just realised I'm using the wrong slide here, and that wasn't the winner for this month. The winner for this month is someone slightly different, and the store is slightly different as well. So forgive me for this, but I will update it as we go. It was Illinois, and a customer of Ironic Crafts, in fact. There we go. I happen to know that that winner is wanting to spend some of their winnings actually with F3, which is why that was a little bit of a confusion for me there. But you know what? Such is life. Let's have a look, see what we've got coming up on the stream. Oh, it's time to jump into some adverts and some video content.
Jerry, in that box there, there's the badges. We forgot to take them off earlier. Yeah, yeah. They're in like a brown padded envelope.
Teething problems. But basically, these two all start sitting down, otherwise it's going to be a problem. Kitchen staff need to stop pushing the way through without mask on, coming out for food. But I see the manager have a word, but some of the stockholders, it's their nerves.
Oh, there's one already in it.
So just a quick reminder, in case you ever needed, or in case you ever managed to forget, it's the first LAMchester V2 today at Be Impossible downstairs in the Theatre Impossible. And it kicked off at 12 o'clock. We have an awesome crowd in here already. God, there is such a selection of things on show. Some amazing paddles, some awesome floggers. God, we have latex outfits galore. Everything is going on. In fact, you know what? Words don't do it justice, so I'm going to try and play you again the video of what that I took this morning. So we do appear to be having a few audio issues today with a little bit of bleed from the buzz that's going on around here. There's not a lot I can do about that because I need to be DJing this and keeping an eye on what's going on. I'll try and solve it, but I might not be able to. But in the meantime, enjoy what we usually do down at Bedford, which is next Sunday. And obviously, here are the details. Oops, they will be on the screen in a second. Here are the details for today. There are still a few tickets left, but only for the 6 to 8 slot. So if you want to come down and join us, you need to get online and get yourself a ticket to that before they sell out. Yeah, I did say that. Before they sell out. Let's face it, I don't think many people can say a fetish market has ever sold out before, but the first 2 sessions today have and in record time. Don't forget, if you want to come on and join us next month, the details are up on the screen. The details are up on the website for tickets for that as well. Just forgive me while my computer lags for a few seconds, and I should be back to playing the videos. No, it's decided to do that whole not responding thing on me in the middle of a transition. Don't you just love IT at the best of time, particularly when you're flying on the wire as we are today? You know what? I'm going to try and go back a slide or two and just press play. No, it's giving me the complete freeze now. This isn't exactly what I wanted from today, but hey, not a lot we can do about that. as we swing round to 1 o'clock, it's getting time for the newbie introduction, and I will be delivering that myself today. We've decided to ditch the video because you know what? We're no longer on live only, and we're coming back and at you with some awesome events. So, before we delve too far into this, he says hitting the button and hoping it's going to move, and it didn't. First of all, to ask you, please, if you're not already a subscriber, slide over to that button, give it a click, and ring that bell so you get notified whenever we're coming out, whenever we're coming on live, because that's the best way to hear what's going on with LAM and LAMchester events at the moment. You know what? If you're enjoying it, please show a little bit of appreciation, give us a little bit of feedback, give us a love, a thumbs up, whatever is appropriate on the platform that you're on. And if there's something in particular that catches your attention or you want to share with someone else, then hit that share button. Share the time index, and that way they'll know exactly what you're talking about.
Whereabouts was pink food?
A what?
A pink food.
I haven't seen one.
I've been told I left it on that table, but someone picked it up.
Okay, then you want to probably check with Jerry or the front desk.
No, I'm looking for a pink food.
So this is the lineup on this session. We're going to talk about the kink positive message of LAM, some quick discussion on LAM values, a run through of the consent is like a cup of tea, and then just covering a little bit of the policies, procedures, and resources that are available through LAM. Well, first of all, kink positive. He says, clicking the button and it's not coming through. Here we go. Kink positive. This kind of sums up LAM in general. You know what? We really don't care. We are open to all genders, all sexualities, all backgrounds, all statuses. We really, really, really don't care. It's all about being kink positive with us. What does kink positive mean? Well, we're not asking you to be a rampant deviant. We're just asking you to accept the fact that deviancy and kink is a huge part of who we are and what we do. We're going to go as far as to say we really don't care what's between your legs, who you want between your legs, how many people you want between your legs. You want to change what's between your legs? Well, you know what? You might be one of those people not attracted to another human being, and there may be an inanimate object that you're hoping to settle down with. I'll give you a bit of a hint, though. DS relationships with inanimate objects don't tend to work out that well. The other thing about LAM is that street clothes are perfectly acceptable. I mean, we're going to encourage you to kink up and wear all of your fetish finery and express yourself to the maximum. But at the end of the day, streetwear is perfectly acceptable. So if you're new and timid and you're wondering, oh my God, I've got nothing to wear, you know what? As long as you don't come in naked, it's perfectly acceptable. Simple as that. So, what else is going on at the moment? Wanted to talk to you a little bit about our values as LAM. Well, you know what? So many people use LAM events as some of their first experiences. We think it's always important to educate people. So some of our core values, the first one's gotta be acceptance. Simple as that. You know what? You may have heard your kink is okay, but it's not my kink, or don't yuck on my yum, or whatever is appropriate to that. But that is the reality of it. You know what? Just because someone else enjoys something that you don't doesn't give you a opportunity to run that down. Just chill. You know what? Enjoy the fact that they are enjoying it. Outside of that, tolerance. That's massively important to us because you know what? Not everyone is into the same kinks. We have to be tolerant of each other, and also we have to understand the diversity that exists within our community, not just in the typical ways, but also neurodiverse. Because let's face it, there are a fair number of kinky people on that spectrum, and I mean the autistic spectrum as opposed to the gender spectrum, etc. So think about that. You know what? You might not necessarily note it as visually obvious with some people, but there are people like my good self. You know what? There's certain noises I really can't stand. They drive seven devils into me. But that's the negativity downside of some of my superpowers. Outside of that, we try and be as positive as we can as an event in all of the things we do. You know what? We see a problem. We don't want to be angry dinosaurs running around causing hassle. We want to actually look at what's caused that and how to fix the cause of that in the long run. So that's what positivity is for us. It's actually doing things properly. Not just because we're an actual legal company, we have to do things properly and legitimately because, you know what, in the short run, it's the most efficient way to actually work in this world. Outside of that, we're obviously trying to be as supportive as possible, not only to our traders, our guests, also our hosts and our crew. And you know what? That's four different groups of people with a diverse range of needs and requirements. Traders, well, it's been such a rough time. We didn't want to shutter the doors and leave everyone out in the cold. Very much lean into it, and that's why we've done crazy things like take over farms. We've taken over the grounds of swingers clubs. We've managed to get ourselves into Manchester before even the Munchies have started up here. And you know why? That's because we were knocking on doors before you could even get into a pub to make sure that they knew when the change occurred, this is what we wanted to do to bring everyone back indoors to have some fun again. Outside of that, one of the next things, you know what? Consent, it's so massively important to our community. It's not just that it's like a cup of tea, it is the difference between consent and abuse. As simple as that. We always ask before and negotiate before we start doing anything. You know what? Don't be one of those people. Oh, just because I thought you were dressed like that, I thought I could come over and touch you. No, you can't. It's as simple as that. Ask first, do your negotiation, and move things forward from there. Outside of that, remember, it's never going to be advisable to negotiate as you go along with things because that's not the right way of doing it. If you want to play with someone, then do the negotiation with them first and foremost before you start playing. Stick to the boundaries that you've agreed with and move it forward from there. Because you know what? Pushing things, yeah, it's not really what we're about as individuals. Because over the years, there's a number of people I know very, very keen on pushing people's limits. Well, they're no longer around because their reputations are trashed. As simple as that. It's also very important that you negotiate on a level playing field. That means you may be master and slave, you may be dom and sub, you may be whatever, but don't negotiate in those modes because that's not how this works. You need to level the playing field and really get down and decide and discuss what's important to you, and not just at the start of your relationship, as you go on, because you know what, we all change. The things that we're interested in, well, they change with time as well, and therefore if you're not sitting down and checking your negotiations on a regular basis, then there's going to be that time when you get down, get ready to play, and the other person, yeah, I'm not feeling this anymore. So do that negotiation as you go along. It is the ethical way to manage it. Simple as that. Um, Right, just clearing a blockage in another window and just checking that we were coming through live. Oops, that didn't mean to come up. There we go. I'm having awful problems with my IT today in terms of throwing things around all over the place. But there we go. That's now disappeared. I've checked the rest of it. And now we can play You Consent Is Like a Cup of Tea. You know what? You may have seen this before. You may have think you've watched it. Watch it again, because you know what? We always learn with these things. Now, the other thing we always like to mention is consent. We like it with fries. Simple as that. Now, fries, what does that mean? Freely given. Simple as that. It's not something you have to coerce someone into or bully them into, or that awful phrase, my other subs do this. Yeah, no, that's no excuse. Simple as that. It's also got to be reversible. You know, the kind of thing that even up to the point where you're about to start, you can say, yeah, you know what? Changed my mind, not in the mood, not today, thank you very much indeed. The other thing, massively important, it's got to be informed. Now, I know the older members of our community will remember the phrase informed consent. Well, if you don't know what's about to happen, you can't give informed consent, as simple as that. So it's about actually being clear about what you're about to engage in, what's going on, and respecting those limits and boundaries once they've been established. Outside of that, hell yeah, things have to be enthusiastic. We're not talking about begrudgingly, well, if I must. We're talking about, oh my God, yes, take that latex hand grenade butt plug, lube it up and slide it in. You know what? That kind of thing, you've really got to have enthusiastic consent for, because at the end of the day, there probably isn't a large enough bat in the house to hammer it in otherwise. So make sure it's all enthusiastic, and also make sure it is specific to what you're doing, specific to the relationship, specific to the circumstances, specific to the time. It doesn't really matter, but be specific with it. So if you need to remember consent, it's best served with fries. Simple as that. And what awesome people down at Planned Parenting to have come up with that simple model. Outside of that, we have huge, massive, clear policies and procedures on the website. They're on both the websites. They're that important. They explain to you the rules, what we tolerate, what is acceptable, what we will encourage as far as possible, and what we will try and do to support you moving forward. Okay. They're also the framework for how we work. It's as simple as that. If it's something that we need to cover, it's in there. It gives us all of the clear understanding. It gives you the rules, the framework, and the boundaries of what we're prepared to get engaged with. Because you know what? There are some things that people try to bring to events that just aren't appropriate. LAM, it's very much like a watering hole. Everyone is welcome as long as you can behave yourselves and stick within the rules. Simple as that. They're also open. It's an open process. So they are, you can engage if you want to make change. It's as simple as that. And you know what? Over the years, this has always made me laugh. I've had someone say, well, they don't change their policies and procedures. No, we don't, unless you engage with them and make a change request. It's as simple as that. Because you know what? I like my social time as well. I like to go out. I don't want to have my ear bent everywhere I go. That's why we have that simple in place. Now, if you're talking to one of us and you're asked to make a change, then make that change. Because if we don't get the request, we're not going to make the change. As simple as that. And in that respect, it is a living document. Something that moves forward and develops as we do as an organization, as our events do as well. Because if there isn't that growth in there, then where are we going to end up? Stale and boring? No, we're not playing that game. It's just not what we're about. Outside of that, here are some simple please do's and please don'ts. When you come to our event, please communicate clearly, or as clearly as you can. If you're having problems verbally, bring the tools to communicate in writing if necessary. When you are communicating with people, remember, particularly at the moment, we all have different needs, different boundaries, different requirements, and therefore respecting those is massively important. The other thing we're always going to ask you to do as well is take personal responsibility for your actions, for the people around you, for what you are doing. It's as simple as that. You know what? Number of times I've caught people over the years breaking the rules. Oh, I didn't know. I don't give a monkey's. Yeah, no, that's not the right attitude. Take that responsibility, because that's how we grow and learn. The next thing I'm going to say, and this has been said numerous times by my crew, take your time. No one offers a first prize position for the first person to complete everything in kink. It doesn't work that way. So you know what? Why rush? Take your time and enjoy the journey as much as anything else. And you know what? Please do let us know if there's something that needs to be looked at, if there's a problem that we need to address. We can only do that by actually having you all engage with us. It's as simple as that. Now, on to the please don'ts. A couple here. Most importantly, don't make assumptions. If you don't know as a fact, don't make that assumption. Because you know what? You might not, without asking, know what the person's preferred pronoun is, what their gender preference, what they're into. You know what? It's all about that clear communication. Another don't we're going to ask is please Don't be an angry dinosaur at our event. We're just not interested in it. And by that, I mean standing there going "Rah!" about something. If you can't do the clear communication thing, if you can't respect our boundaries on where we've set them, then it's one of those. So please, you want something resolved, approach it correctly and ethically and as an adult, because that's really important for us. The other thing I'm going to say is if you're new to our community, for God's sake, none of us hatched out of an egg perfectly formed and perfectly skilled. It takes time to build up your skills. And you know what? A good indication to that, if you do something full time for 5 years, then you're an expert, or you should be, or moving close to that status. However, if you're doing it part time, you can crack that out to about 10 years, to be perfectly honest, to claim that almighty expert status. Outside of that, we're also going to say to you, please, you know what? Have a drink, calm your nerves, settle yourself by all means. Don't get intoxicated. No one likes to play with a drunk. No one wants to play with people who don't have that level of self-respect. So, you know what? Stay on the right side of that line. And finally, we're going to ask you, if there are external issues that you have with someone else, please don't bring them to the event. It's as simple as that. This is a communal watering hole. If it's a huge problem, if it's something that is consent based that we need to address and help you work through, yeah, we'll help you do that. But I'm not interested that Master Jones took your crime submissive 5 years ago. You know what? It's time to move on and get on with life. It is as simple as that. Outside of that, a couple of general messages from me. First of all, and I've said this many times over the last year and a bit, stay safe. Do what is best for you and the people that are immediately around you. You know what? It's one of those. It's a bit like living in a poly world at the moment. You got to think about the people who are in your extended network, just about your own personal needs. And that means, you know what? Being sensible with that. I know a few of you might be fans of licking door handles. Now is not the time to be playing those kind of kinky games. So be sensible in what you do. Think about the people that you interact with. And you know what? Be a decent human being. That's all we can ask you to do. Outside of that, stay clean. You know what? That's not just hands, face, space. That's also clean your toys, look after them. You know what? When you haven't been using things, they can get dusty. Give them a little bit of TLC, because at the end of the day, a well-maintained and looked after toy will last you a lifetime. I've in fact got a couple of toys. They lasted beyond one lifetime because they were gifted to me after two other people had finished with them and finished with their time on this planet as well. So quality always lasts, and that's why we're big fans of quality at the right price at LAM. Outside of that, the best thing we can do is ask you to be as supportive as you can to our stallholders, because it's been a really difficult time. Send them a supportive message, something as simple as that. Tell them you're looking forward to seeing them at a future event. Share some of their content on your social media. If you've got someone having a birthday or need to get a present for someone, consider shopping with the LAM stalls. At the end of the day, you know you're always going to get something that they will be wanting, looking forward to. And if you're involved in them, you know what? You might get to be on the receiving end as well. What more could you want from that? Outside of that, if you are watching and enjoying and you want to interact, then by all means take a selfie, hashtag it with LAM Live, stick it up on social media, tag us in it so we can find it. And on Mondays we do a draw, and there's a prize of a limited edition LAMchester mug. Outside of that, there's also a Telegram group chat that we run during lockdown. A place to swap stickers, comments, chat to other like-minded kinky folk. Simple as that. And you know what? Each month, the best dressed person on LAM Live, well, they're going to win as well. Some LAM cash to spend. So this is what the schedule looks like at the moment. On first Sundays of the month, in lieu of LAM in London, there'll be a live stream. But you know what? We're back. So we're actually going to fuse it, and we're going to have the fusion one. On the second Sundays, when we're not around for at least a little bit longer, we're gonna come at you with a quickie edition from 12:30 till around 4:30, and we're gonna do that on the second, third, and occasional fifth Sundays of the month. And then on the fourth Sundays, because we're back, and you know what? Big shout out to Manchester today, and my God, some masked up people looking at the beautiful toys today, and I can see some bags that people have already started purchasing. It's going to be a mental day today. So that's where you can find us. That's what's going on. And one of the awesome stalls who are with us in LAMchester this weekend is Ironic Crafts. They've not done a LAMchester before, but oh my goodness, You really need to see their stuff. Very, very impressive. Outside of that, just to let you know, here are the details of the Telegram group chat that we run. One simple rule: be a decent human being. You want to talk to people in private, ask them in public first. Simple as that. Not appropriate to go around trying to troll people. We will remove you. You will get banned. Simple as that. We also have a Jitsi chat that runs throughout whenever LAM Live is on. So there should be a room there. I don't know who's in there today because most of us are a little bit busy running this. But it's an automated room, so it should be open. Feel free to pop in. Speaking about popping in, here's a quick mini workshop on pegging from Adam at Godamishi. So we appear to have had a little bit of a mid-pegging accident there, but there we go. Let me just see if I can get on to the next slide. Unfortunately, as I have said earlier, we have been having some IT problems today. So this, it's decided to go into non-responding mode, and that's probably why it's done that. But just tolerate my voice for a little bit longer, and we should be back with you. In fact, there is nothing coming out on the podcast screen for some strange reason. It's all fun and games. Hopefully this isn't going to be this complex or as difficult when we get around to healthy mental practices at 2 o'clock, because that would be a huge shame not to have got the first one of those working correctly, but we shall see how it goes. There we go. They've decided to come back into action again now. And this is just a quick reminder. If you are watching at home, if you're not lucky enough to be out in Manchester today, then you can still join us by taking a selfie, hashtagging it LAM Live, tagging us in the picture, and we'll put you into a draw on Monday for those.
them now. The key word is overkill. Still win, right? We are getting against my honest option. Yeah, you know where it's like.
Oh yeah! Wait, it's me, right?
Now, forgive me while I put the test card up and try and get to a little bit of jiggery pokery. Because FetLife appears to be down at the second, I can't do my usual immediate link through to healthy mental practices. So what I'm having to do is find the details the long way. So give me a second. And here we go. I've got the details. Pulling them off, and hopefully I will be able to get that linked across to Zoom in a second. Oops, hit the wrong button. Let's close that one down. Join the Zoom meeting. There we go. And please bear with me while this is just a little bit slower than we'd all want at the moment. Just as the system settles down into the LAMchester location. Here we go. Sorry, everyone. We seem to be having problems connecting through to Healthy Mental Practices today. I'm trying the details again, but it's about the fourth or fifth time. I believe the meeting room is open if you can connect directly. Oops. No, unfortunately, that is not allowing me in at all. So we're going to have to pull out, and I'll drop the stream today, unfortunately, because if I can't get into the room, I can't give you the rest of it. So sorry, everyone, but you're more than welcome to come down and join us here at LAMchester. We just can't get this technology to run today. So catch up with you all soon. Have an awesome one, and sorry it's a short run today.